way, and we're so grateful, and it's really nice. Somebody sent cookies and I think a pie. We haven't gotten to the card yet, so we don't know who it is. And then someone said, that's fun. And my aunt and uncle and cousins sent that. Our neighbors sent this. My girlfriends from the Dominican Republic, like this embassy girls. This is from my brother and sister-in-law. And then I have some cousins that sent some beautiful pink roses, and I gave them to Reese's girlfriend, Azure, so that she could have some flowers at her house too. A friend of Reese and Maya's made this. Say what we're doing?
We're gonna get a bunch of, we're all gonna get a Vans shoes for Reese's memorial.
Rip it so hard.
Because he always wore Vans.
That's why no.
Hey, what are y'all thinking? Azure, what are you thinking?
Well, see, look, there's these pink Vans right here, but like, I don't know.
Those are pretty cute.
Those are cute, and they're like bright.
If I find some Rick and Morty ones, can I get those?
I don't know what that means.
That was
the
Reese's,
show.
yeah.
It was his favorite show. You know the Pickle Rick slippers I stole from him?
Yes.
That's the show that he liked.
So if
Now
I
then,
find
have
Rick
you
and
found
Morty
yours?
Ones, can I get them?
Not yet. I don't know for sure if I'm gonna get the blue ones. These shoes are actually lovely.
So cute. Love it. So we want a musical number at Reese's memorial, and this is Michael's brother Chris, and he's gonna try out a couple songs for us to see which song we want.
I can live with you, and the memories I receive always seem to tell the truth. Remember the name that you bear.
Anybody else missing?
We're still missing Dad's shoes. Reese loved checkered Vans. He got his first pair of Vans at age 2. Mason's. This is definitely the hardest thing we've had to do since his passing. And none of us feel ready. None of us want to do it. Just doesn't feel right. Reese is going to be cremated, but we felt it was important to have a viewing for the kids and our close family, so it's just our family. Nobody else was invited. My siblings and parents, and Michael's parents and siblings. Do you have anything you want to say?
I think so. I just don't know what to expect. I'm worried about everybody. I don't know how this is. I don't know what we're gonna feel and stuff. This is gonna be way harder than the memorial, I think.
Okay, Maya.
And every time I saw Reese, you'd say, Grandma. You don't know Pearl very well. She doesn't like smooth jazz. She likes to go really, really fast. And she's got a very racy spirit. And we fought about that till the last time I saw her.
And then he got the same car.
And then he got
Yeah.
the same car.
You got Big Brother.
But Pearl, I want you to know, Pearl is sensitive and she gets very offended and sad when you guys drive her fast.
Yeah, and I was with him on that notorious snowboard breaking trip. I think it was just he and I, wasn't it?
Yep.
As I recall. So he would go down through the woods and I'd go down the trails in my skis while he was on his snowboard. And I don't know if he had the same clothes, but clothes very similar to that. So this is one of the ways I remember him. And how devastated he was. Absolutely crushed, devastated. Could hardly get him off the mountain. He was so shook up about breaking his snowboard. So it was a traumatic but fun experience being able to spend time with him one-on-one and share some things that we both like to do, play in the snow. So some great memories.
Thank you.
But my first memories of Reece, he was doing breakdancing. And he showed me all his moves. And one of my last memories of Reece was when he was making fun of me that Kobe Bryant had died. I was so distraught that day. He just kept teasing me. He has the best sense of humor. You could see him cracking jokes about just about anything. And that is something that I looked forward to seeing him because I knew he'd have some smart aleck comment to make. He was a good cousin to his baby cousins and just had a soft heart. Sorry, thank you.
I will go.
I remember when I would come down and visit you guys on occasion. At least Reece was just a little boy, and every morning he would wake up and get his bottle of chocolate milk or hot chocolate. I can't remember if it was hot chocolate or chocolate milk, but he would lay in front of the TV and watch cartoons. And I remember just laying on the floor with him watching up at the TV while he laid there and drank that chocolate milk. And it was special to me at the time because there was a time when I thought I would probably never get married or have kids. And I just thought that my nieces and nephews were going to be my life, and they were. And I just love him for the memories and the best boy. I'll miss that boy so much.
A couple weeks ago, after table nachos, I felt like I had to walk it off, and I asked if anybody would like to walk up to the top of the North Dakota mountain with me, and which is just the back mountain that I always walk up when I'm here. And Reece said, "There you go," and put my shoes on, and I followed him, and we jumped the barbed wire fence, and we talked about his job, and the sun was setting just over the mountains, and we could hear cows making really strange noises at the ranch, and we were perfectly angry that night. We were angry at everything. We were angry at people building too many houses, and we were angry about money, and we were angry that we had to have jobs, and we were angry that we couldn't just do whatever we wanted whenever we wanted. And but it was like just fun to be angry together, and we were smiling, so we couldn't have been that angry. But we just talked about like what his plans were, and we talked about things that he was planning on doing, and some things that he was thinking about trying to do, and then we came home, and he left in his car and left his shoes by the driveway. That was the last time I saw him.
Oh, he's leaving his shoes everywhere.
So I think my first memory with Reece was when Marisa and Michael went on a cruise out of Galveston, and I had to watch Maya and Reece running around the house, and I was way too young to be in charge of two little kids. But then it was just fun to see him in the West Jordan house, and then we moved up here to Utah 3 years ago, and I remember Marisa and Michael who were traveling and lots going on. But I went to one of Reese's lacrosse games, and I said, "Hey, you better score." And he said, "I always score when my parents aren't here." And I think he scored 3 goals. And so that was fun to watch him, and just his peers and his friends and his classmates looking up to him. And then probably my last one-on-one time, I called him one day, and he was just staying with friends, and I said, "Hey, let's go get some food." And I shared this the other day, but I said, "Where do you like to eat?" He said, "I love sushi, and there's this all-you-can-eat sushi place in American Fork." So I went and picked him up, and we just had a good time for about 2 hours watching him eat 10 or 12 rolls of really, really bad sushi. But he was happy, and it's good times. I love him.
I remember when David and I were first married, you had let Reece stay at a cousin's house overnight, and we went and picked him up. And we didn't have kids, so all of a sudden Reece looks at a cup in the back of our car and says, "Are you guys gonna use that cup?" And we were like, "Why? What are you doing with that cup?" And he threw up all over. But it didn't smell like throw up. It smelled like candy that he had
Like bubblegum.
binged on the night before. And I just remember him getting out of the car, not even grabbing his things, but it was just, that was one of my first experiences with Reece. I think he was 5. But it was so much fun to be with him when he was that little. And even now, this last summer, we came over for dinner a few times, and I remember he was complaining about how he had to eat jicama and pita chips when he was little. And he just kept saying they taste like a potato. And the whole time he would say potato like he was 80 years old. It was really funny. He always got us laughing, though. We will miss him.
So, me and Reece had a lot of fun adventures. And there's just one that comes to mind when he worked at Smith's. He needed me to go get his paycheck with him, and so we went in the car. It was probably midnight. Mom and Dad didn't know. So we went and got in the car, brought our skateboards, and we went and got his paycheck and just skateboarded all around Smith's. And then we almost ran out of gas. And so we were scared we were gonna have to call Mom and Dad.
So it was always really fun to come and visit you guys, and Reece just was always so active and smiling constantly, and just he just filled up a room with his presence. And my boys just loved coming and spending time with the cousins. And since Reece was a little bit older, I always kind of watched Reece to see what's the next step, what's the next stage, what's the next stage for my kids, because he was always just a little bit ahead of like the new things that they were learning or the new stages of growth. And I just think about all the times that we were able to come visit and the cousins just running around like laughing together, like you wouldn't even see them. We'd get back from family vacations and be like, were our kids with us? Because they just had so much fun with all the cousins. And not very long ago when Reece had moved and we had gotten a message to maybe reach out to him. And I texted him and I felt a little bit awkward because like we didn't text a lot, so I was kind of like, well, this is gonna be weird, but I just wanted him to know we were here and he could talk. And so I told him, I was up front, I was like, this is what I'm doing, I want you to know, like, anytime, you know, call anytime or whatever, but I don't know how best to support you, so I'm gonna send you really stupid knock-knock jokes for a couple days in a row. And so for a couple days in a row, we kept texting back really stupid jokes to each other. And he said, thank you, Aunt Tasha. And it sounds really stupid, but since I came into this family later, it was really touching to me for him to call me Aunt. And he never knew that, but like him just saying that just made me feel so close to him.
One year for Christmas, probably 3 or 4 years ago, me and Reece got each other for Secret Santa, and I was being a little brat, and I decided I was gonna give him a half-eaten bag of hot Cheetos. And I really loved The Weeknd at the time, and he bought me a $45 sweatshirt of an album that he had just came out with, and he spent $45 on it when he was like 15 or 16, so I don't even know where he got that money, but he would always tease me because I gave him half a bag of hot Cheetos.
You never lived that down.
I never lived it down.
Never, ever.
But he ate my salad, so... And I didn't...
You never let him live that down.
I never let him live down eating my Costa Vida salad.
When Reece and me lived together for like the short 2 months, I had school on Saturdays and he didn't have work, and it was so hard for me to wake up at 7 in the morning to go to school. But Reece, I don't know why, he always woke up before me, and so I would just, you know, try to stay in bed, and he would take off all my covers and like literally try to drag me out of bed, and he would start the shower and he'd say, come on baby, you gotta go to school, you gotta do that for yourself. And like, I was really annoyed at him at the time because I was like, I just want to sleep, it's Saturday. But I just know that he was just doing it because he knew that's what I needed to do, and he wanted me to graduate so we could go travel. So I really appreciate him for making me get out of bed on Saturdays, for literally dragging me out. He's kind of strong.
He's twice your size.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of memories of Reece, but one that keeps coming to mind this last week is when I had to go visit him in Fresno last year, and it was not a good, it was like, in my opinion, probably the darkest time of his life. And we had some pretty hard talks, me and him, but I think it was the first time that he knew that we loved him no matter what. So that was nice, and it was bonding for us. But the thing I remember is, I mean, it was a bad time of his life, and things were up in the air for his job and where he was going to live. And we went to Sequoia National Park on the 4th of July, and he had his longboard and he made me stop on the side of the road, and he jumps on his longboard and starts riding down the road 35 miles an hour, and I have a video of it, but I just keep thinking of that like that's Reece. He lived in the moment. He was present. When you were with him, he was there with you. And he just had no fear except for spiders and monkeys towards the end of his life. Other than that, he had no fear, and he just was present, and he just lived life just to the fullest. He lived more than I did, and I have. So I mean, so sad that he's gone, but at the same time, like, he did so much, and the only thing he didn't have was someone that he loved that wasn't part of his family, and he got that too, and I think that's what he was waiting for, and that was what he needed, and he had done everything.
So I have two memories. Like, one of them is really recent, but I'm gonna share the older one first, so then I remember. We were in Thailand, and me and my mom were reading, and Reece came in because we were sharing a room, and then there's a tiny little spider over my bed, and he's like, oh my gosh, get that thing away from me. And then when we finally killed him, he didn't want to go to bed in his bed because he was too scared that there was gonna be spiders. And then and recently, me and Azure and Reece started going to get snow cones, and then I was in the middle of making orange chicken for dinner, and then he's like, Azure's here, let's go get snow cones. And I'm like, but I'm in the middle of making food. And he's like, well, we're going now, so hurry and get ready. And I'm like, but I need to eat. He's like, no, we're going now. That's it.
So I have a lot of memories of Reece, also, as we all do. My first exposure to him was our first little grandson. I just remember looking at him thinking, oh my gosh, he's got the scrawniest little legs I have ever seen. They were just so tiny. And oh, he was just so cute. The two words that come to mind when I think of Reece is fast and furious. And he just had this extraordinary push to just do everything he wanted to do and experience everything he wanted to do and learn everything he wanted to do, and if he learned something, he had to be a master at it, the Rubik's Cube. And he just had to be the best and do what he could. I've had an experience with him the last 3 days, I guess. Whenever I find a penny, I pick it up and think that it's my dad saying hello to me. And that's been going on a lot of years now. And I thought, oh, I feel kind of bad that I won't have something for Reece. Well, in the last 3 days, I found 3 dimes. And he just wanted me to know that he was a little better than a penny, and wasn't going to settle for just 1 cent. He was going to be a 10. And so I know he's been close, and I'm going to watch out for those times of my life. I love him, and I love you, family, and I'm so heartbroken for you, but what a legend he left.
This is probably the darkest time of our family's life, but a lot of good's going to come from this. It already has. People have changed the trajectory of their lives because of this already that they've told us. people have been influenced not to end their lives. And we're going to influence a lot of people. People will do good because of Reece. So this is going to bring a lot of joy to the world. And it's like Mason said, he's at peace now. He's happy. And I know Mason's right. There's a lot of good that can come from this, and Reece is free, and he's at peace, and we can find joy in that.
Oh, that's amazing.
We're not sharing this, by the way. This gets open once our visitors leave.
That is awesome.
Well, these are all the great.
Blue